joined by New York Times international business editor Marcus Mabry. Marcus, great to have you here on Street Smart. Good afternoon.
Good to be here, Carl. Thank you.
So what do you make of this move by U.S. lawmakers?
Well, there are two things. You know, in one sense, 'twas ever thus. This is not the first time that American lawmakers or an American White House has complained about China and particularly undervaluing its currency.
Right.
It's a pretty common complaint. What's different about it is that the Senate is looking here to actually introduce a bill and legislation to put some teeth into laws that would actually make the administration, in effect, take action against China. Things that the administration so far has not been willing to do.
Well, that's interesting. So what do you think is going to happen here in terms of, I mean, the president, I'm assuming, doesn't like to be told what to do here, certainly in a relationship that already we see heightened tension. So how do you think this could play out?
Well, you know, the president doesn't like to be told what to do, and the Chinese, even more so probably, don't like to be told what to do. It's interesting. We're kind of locked in this kind of death struggle in some ways, the United States and China. China actually takes a huge amount of American debt. They have $2.4 trillion in reserves right now.
Right.
And we think even, you know, probably $900 billion of that is in American debt. We need someone to take that American debt, especially in these times while we're doing so much deficit spending and increasing that debt at an enormous rate. So we need China to take that debt. If China were to stop, the U.S. would be in trouble.
That's a good point. But, you know, folks on the other side of the equation are going to say China needs us as well because we buy an awful lot of goods made in China. I mean, their domestic economy has a long way to go before it develops.
Absolutely true. Right now, there's not enough domestic demand in China to make up for the fact that there was such a fall in exports during the crisis and during the global recession, which China was spared from, but it doesn't have enough domestic demand to pick up for what, you know, it loses by Americans and Europeans not buying goods, especially Americans.
I think it was interesting what you said. Of course, the Chinese don't like being told what to do. None of us really do. But how do you think the Chinese are going to react to this, Marcus?
Well, negatively. There's no question about it. We're right now in the middle of this kind of rhetorical tit for tat, and so we had the administration saying that China should look at valuing its currency fairly,
right,
which is the same formulation the Bush administration used.
Right, we've heard this before.
Exactly, and during the campaign, actually, Obama was much more strident, and even Geithner, before he actually became Treasury Secretary, talked about China unfairly manipulating its currency. Once he was Treasury Secretary, that language was out the window. I do not expect it to make a comeback, but what the administration has to do here is tone down this rhetorical tit for tat. If it keeps happening, then the U.S. in the end loses, and so does China.
We could see some increased trade tensions, no doubt.
And we can't afford that, especially right now as we try to recover.
All right, we got to run. Marcus, thank you so much. We appreciate it.